Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Politics Tonight. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Thank you for staying with us. Now, let's bring you some political developments. President Bola Tinubu has accepted the resignation of Professor Mahmood Yakubu as chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission following the expiration of his second term in office. Professor Yakubu was first appointed in November 2015 as the 14th chairman of the commission for an initial term of 5 years. President Tinubu thanked Professor Yakubu for his services to the nation and his efforts to sustain Nigeria's democracy, particularly through the organization of free, fair elections throughout his two-term tenure. Earlier today, Professor Yakubu handed over to May Agajuma as acting chairman of the commission. Mrs. Agajuma is the oldest serving national commissioner in the electoral body and currently heads the commission's legal services, clearance and complaints committee. Governor of Zamfara State, Dauda Lawal, says the government is fully committed to Africa's digital transformation and is putting technology at the heart of governance and public service delivery. Governor Lawal was speaking at the Digital Government Africa Summit in Lusaka, Zambia, where he emphasized that every sector now depends on data as well as connectivity and technology must drive accountability, transparency, and inclusive growth. He says one of the aims of digital government should be to improve lives, and key players must unanimously push to turn Africa's digital aspirations into real government development gains. He also spoke on the initiatives launched by the government to bring the people closer. Let's take a short break now and return to our conversation for tonight. Please stay with us, everyone.
The Renewed Hope Initiative RHI presents the RHI Green Nigeria Challenge. Go green today for a greener tomorrow. This national competition is in 3 categories. The household category is a tree planting competition amongst 11 frontline states in northern Nigeria. Each participating household in Adamawa, Borno, Bauchi, Gombe, Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Sokoto, Yobe, and Zamfara states will plant a minimum of 1 tree to qualify, with a video evidence of before and after the tree planting exercise. 20 million naira would be awarded to the best household. Submission deadline is 20th December 2026. Community category will see local governments, local communities, schools, and NGOs reclaim and transform degraded or abandoned areas such as dump sites, landfills, parks, and their likes into green, vibrant gardens, parks, and eco-friendly spaces. 50 million naira would be awarded to the overall best community group. Deadline for submission is 15th July 2026. States category will have all states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, excluding Enugu State, have a chance to address the growing threats to environmental sustainability and cleanliness. States will be judged based on the number of trees planted on major roads and inner streets and how clean they are. 100 million naira will be awarded to the best performing state. Already, Enugu State has 100 million naira for being RHI's model green state due to its greenery and cleanliness. Video evidence must be submitted by participating states on or before 20th December 2026. All entries must be directed to RHI Office, State House, Abuja, or email rhi.greenchallenge@statehouse.gov.ng. RHI Green Nigeria Challenge. Go green today for a greener tomorrow.
Thank you for staying with us, everyone. Before we get into a conversation for tonight, let's bring you more stories. And we turn attention to the National Assembly, where the House of Representatives has issued, or rather assured Nigerians it would produce an electoral act that would stand the test of time, also make it available well ahead of the 2027 general election. Lawmakers resumed today after a 2-month recess. National Assembly correspondent Jakadisa reports.
Fresh from a 10-week vacation, the lawmakers were in high spirits and glad to be back to legislative duties. 3 newly elected members were sworn in to represent their federal constituencies, and the House proceeded on an executive session which lasted for more than 1 hour. Back from the closed-door meeting, the Speaker welcomed his colleagues to another legislative session. He says the 10th House is the most productive since 1999, having secured presidential assent to 50 bills out of the 237 passed, while the total bills considered stand at 2,263. He acknowledges that headline inflation decreased from a fifth consecutive month to 20.12%, while food inflation also eased. Constitutional amendments detailing women inclusion, electoral and security reforms are a top priority for the House.
Security reforms remain a top priority. The debate on multi-level policing must move from theory to decisive legislative action. Creating state police through a constitutional amendment remains an option.
There was a mild face-off between the Speaker and Abia legislator Obi Agwocha over the health status of Biafra leader Nnamdi Kanu before the intervention of the Deputy Speaker.
I have not received a letter that I wrote to the Speaker. I'm a member of the House, and my office deserves a response, whether it's positive or not.
It's not the kind of thing that I would expect that would come by way of privilege.
I understand the pain in the heart of the representative with regards to the subject matter of Nnamdi Kanu, but we'll come properly before the House so that proper hearing will be given to it.
The House wants the federal government to address the rising insecurity in Ifelodun, Ofa, Oyun, and other parts of Kwara State. With the annual recess over, the remaining weeks in the year promise to be engaging for the House of Representatives as it settles down to commence the process of passing the Constitution Amendment bills and receiving President Bola Tinubu for the presentation of the 2026 Appropriation Bill. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.
One of the major issues on the table of the Green Chamber today was President Bola Tinubu's letter seeking approval to secure a $2.84 billion loan to finance budget deficits and infrastructure. The president's request is contained in a letter addressed to the Senate. A breakdown of the proposed loan shows a new external borrowing of 1.84 trillion naira, equivalent of $1.22 billion in the 2025 Appropriation Act, for part financing of the budget deficit.
The purpose of this letter is to seek a resolution of the House of Representatives pursuant to the provisions of Section 21, subsection 1, and Section 27, subsection 1 of the Debt Management Office Establishment Act 2003. The new external borrowing of $1,843,669,786 naira 98 kobo, which is equivalent to $1,229,113,000 at the budget exchange rate of $1 to 1,500 naira in the 2025 Appropriation Act for the part financing of the budget deficit. 2, refinance the $118,352,000 euro bonds at 7.625%, USD 1.118 billion, November 2025.
Nigeria is hosting the ad hoc ministerial meeting of the ECOWAS Council of Ministers in Abuja, with focus on the rotation of statutory appointees across ECOWAS institutions. The meeting aims to ensure fairness, equity, and regional balance in leadership positions within the sub-regional body. Oya Thomas reports.
At the opening session, Nigeria's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs said the meeting underscores the collective commitment of ECOWAS member states to transparency and inclusivity in the region's governance structure. The ECOWAS Commission President, in his own remarks, commended Nigeria for hosting the meeting and reaffirmed the Commission's readiness to support the committee's work in line with the 2012 Supplementary Act guiding statutory appointments.
We are fully aware that the appointment of statutory positions within ECOWAS institutions remains a matter of considerable importance and sensitivity amongst member states. The issue has become even more delicate in recent times, given the reduction in the number of statutory positions available following the implementation of the ECOWAS institutional reforms. We would also recall that Nigeria, as a long-standing and committed member state, played a significant role in shaping and supporting the institutional reforms which culminated in the current and more streamlined structure.
To facilitate this process, Council established this 8-member ad hoc committee comprising of the republics of Benin, Côte d'Ivoire, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Nigeria, Senegal, and Togo, to review the proposed allocation of the Commission and submit it to the Council for consideration and ultimately to the ECOWAS Authority for decision.
This two-day meeting will set the tone for the next round of leadership appointment across ECOWAS institutions for the 2026 to 2030 term, a process expected to strengthen regional integration and unity among member states. The committee's recommendation will be presented at the ECOWAS Council of Ministers statutory meeting in December for final consideration. Moya Thomas, TVC News, Abuja.
Key players are advocating an upward review of the salaries of medical professionals as a way of strengthening the health sector. This call was made at induction of fresh graduates of the Palmer University of Medical Sciences in Port Harcourt. Correspondent Uche Okoro reports.
This event marks a significant stride in efforts to address the shortage of licensed doctors in Nigeria. With only about 50,000 doctors serving more than 200 million people, the need for more medical professionals is pressing. As these young medical graduates begin their careers, concerns arise about these ones joining the trend of doctors migrating in search of better opportunities abroad. To mitigate this brain drain, officials urge the government to urgently improve doctors' welfare packages.
You must be healthy first before wealth will come. So we congratulate you and urge the federal government to invest more and also look at the review of the remuneration of health workers. That way, we will kill 2 birds with a stone.
We must thank the Rivers State government that has provided scholarships to Rivers State indigenes
and giving hope and a future to brilliant young men and women who otherwise would not have been able to afford this quality of education.
65 medical students qualified for the induction and oath-taking ceremony after completing 6 years of rigorous university training.
When you see medicine as a calling, you will realize that behind every birth chart is a story. Behind every diagnosis is a dream. And behind every patient is a family, a community praying for hope.
At NTCM, we are committed to shaping the healthcare workforce ecosystem, and we are addressing many challenges directly. My approach actually is incremental theory. You don't expect something to boom one day go up, but incrementally, so that you can make changes as you go on and you can adjust as you go on.
Iboro Joel emerged as the overall best student and also received the Nigerian Medical Association Prize for Best MBBS Student. Uche Okoro, TVC News, Port Harcourt.
A grassroots movement for President Bola Tinubu and Governor Obasani has been launched in southern Kaduna. The group pledged their loyalty ahead of 2027. Senior reporter Lupa Hassan has details.
In southern Kaduna, a strong endorsement has been given to President Bola Tinubu and Governor Obasani with the official launch of Karkarata Asiwaju da Obasani 100%. The inauguration held in Kafanchan drew thousands of supporters who pledged loyalty to the president and the governor. The event was chaired by Jerry Adams, the executive chairman of the Kaduna State Internal Revenue Service, and symbolically launched with a broom revolution by the Commissioner for Sports Development, Professor Benjamin Dugong.
Another very important thing that brought us here is to endorse the governor, Governor Obasani, Senator Governor Obasani for a second term, and to also endorse the president for a second term, based on their track record.
Representing Governor Obasani, Adodogo described the movement as a powerful grassroots platform that will mobilize and coordinate campaign across rural communities. With over 10,000 members, the structure unveiled includes states, local government, wards and polling unit coordinators to drive support at the grassroots.
For those in southern Kaduna that are here to join APC, the train is about moving, we are still waiting for them to please come and join the train so that the train doesn't start moving and leave them behind. It is high time everybody is aware. It is glaring. Is it the ADC that we are coming to campaign in Southern Kaduna? Nobody will listen to them. With all the atrocities, with all the bad things that some of their leaders in that ADC have committed to the people of Southern Kaduna. So if you are coming with any party apart from APC in Southern Kaduna, it's like you are coming to commit a crime to the people of Southern Kaduna.
We from Southern Kaduna, we are giving assurance to our vote. We from the middlemen, we are giving assurance to our vote. There is nothing that will change that. There is nothing that will change that. And in 2027, we are going to use this broom to sweep those Monabukai.
Leaders of the movement, led by Jonah Bonnet, declared their commitment to securing a second term for both President Tinubu and Governor Obasani, stressing that their works will focus on unity, peace and development. The group also pledged to counter any opposition coalition that threatens the progress of Kaduna State and Nigeria, using peaceful and lawful community-driven mobilization. Lupe Asom, TVC News, Kaduna.
Now let's get to our conversation for tonight. In recent weeks, Nigeria has been gripped by yet another controversy, this time involving the Minister of Science and Technology, Uche Nnaji. Allegations have surfaced questioning the authenticity of the minister's academic qualifications, sparking public debate, political reactions and calls for accountability. As the country grapples with issues of governance, credibility and public trust, questions are being asked. How did we get here? What does this mean for the administration's image, and more importantly, for the future of public service integrity in Nigeria? Joining me tonight to unpack the implications of this controversy is public affairs analyst, Mr. Chukwunoye Okereke. Mr. Okereke, thank you for joining us on the program. Thank you.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Right, so a few minutes to go on the program. There's been a lot of back and forth, especially from the camp of the minister. He has made a U-turn, dismissing reports questioning the authenticity of his academic qualifications. He has insisted that UNN officially issued him a degree certificate confirming his graduation in 1985. And this case is not the first of its kind in Nigeria. What do you make of it?
Thank you for having me this evening, because a lot of clarification has to be made. Too many things have been flying in the media space, especially social media. Chief Geoffrey Uche Nnaji was enrolled in 1981 to study microbiology and biochemistry in the prestigious University of Nigeria in Nsukka. He went through the 4-year period for the course and graduated in 1985. Now, this brouhaha started when People's Gazette 2 years ago decided to dig deep into his academic qualifications, which they did. And they were able to procure Freedom of Information. They relied on the Freedom of Information Act to get their information from the University of Nigeria in Nsukka through the registrar. They applied, and the registry replied them 2 months after, precisely December 2023. And we thought that has ended that matter. The reply was fully signed, sealed, on a letter-headed paper. And the registrar was Mrs. Celine Nebedum. And the person that signed that particular letter was IAS Onyado, Mrs. And the letter was directed to one Mr. Ogundipe of People's Gazette. That was the normal procedure and way to go about getting such strategic information. Because we are talking about a Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, a revered office. And his ministry is one of the most strategic in this country, helping to drive the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President. Suddenly, 2 years after, an organization, a media organization called Premium Times, said that a whistleblower informed them that there are discrepancies in his certificates. Now, there are things they did that were seriously untoward. Going to the Senate, I didn't know whether they stole the certificates of the minister, which is submitted for his screening, or they got it through the Freedom of Information Act. It is left for the institution of the Senate to engage the Premium Times managers or their owners, how they were able to lay their hands on that particular document. Be that as it may, they say that they went on wild goose chase of trying to dig deep. An organization that is not headquartered inside a university, and the university opened their registry for them, which you and I know that is not possible for a university to just open their registry for them. It's just like going to the bank and requesting the bank to give you the statement of account of another customer. It is not possible. Nobody does it anywhere. But they claim that they dug deep. And they dug deep for 2 years. They were digging. What were they digging? They would have followed this normally established route of Freedom of Information Act, getting across to the institution through the registrar. As a matter of fact, the registrar is the custodian of administration in any higher institution. It is not in the domain of the vice chancellor. Vice chancellor is the chief executive officer, but the registrar is the chief administrative officer. Admissions, exams, records, especially as regards to students, is domiciled in the office of the registrar. They did not do that. And they just came up writing a long, meandering prose that they got this person, they got that. Is that how to do investigative journalism? Their journalistic tendency in that respect was too pedestrian for anybody to take it serious. And you see a lot of modeling up here and there. They brought out documents that were not stamped, that were not signed, that were not sealed. And they had to push it to the public domain. As a matter of fact, we at the minister's side have taken it upon ourselves to request the university now to give us our transcript. You know, each time people keep on talking about certificates. Yes, you are claiming that the certificate we have is not the real one.
Hold on, because the conversation we're having at the moment, there is an update. The president has now accepted the resignation of Geoffrey Naji as minister. Where do we go from here?
Is that what?
President Bola Tinubu has just accepted the resignation of the minister. So where do we go from here?
Well, I'm hearing this. I'm in your studio. I just said it now.
So that's why I'm telling you there's an update. So where do we go from here?
Well, if he has chose to do that, he knows best why he has decided to toe that path. He felt that his credibility is at stake, that nobody is going to come up to tarnish his image, that he labored for this 40 years ago, that he could not be sacrificed on the altar of politics because of his gubernatorial ambition in Enugu State. And there are political players in the citadel of learning called University of Nigeria that have decided to be the PDP branch of that institution. So if he has decided to submit his resignation, I think he's a man of integrity. He felt that the best thing for him to do to preserve what he has taken time to build for over 4 decades is the path he has told. That is if he has done that, because I'm just walking into your studio and I'm not
it's breaking news. It's breaking news, and that's the information we have now. But thank you very much for joining us on the program. Sadly, you came late. We would have had a more robust conversation. My guest tonight is public affairs analyst strategist Chukwunoye Okereke. Thank you so much for speaking with us on Politics Tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And thank you very much for watching, everyone. That's our package tonight. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But before we go, let's tell you that the views and reactions of our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.
keeping hope alive.
We are the drumbeats that refuse to be silent, even when the rhythm falters.
We are the green that refuses to fade,
and the white that dares to shine.
Hope is not a stranger here.
It lives in our markets,
our music, and our streets.
Every dawn in Nigeria is proof that tomorrow is still worth fighting for.
Hope is a child in the classroom, eyes wide, with dreams bigger than walls.
Hope is the farmer planting seeds in faith,
believing in rain and harvest.
Hope is the youth unafraid to rise, rewriting the story of our tomorrow.
Hope is us, millions of voices
refusing to give up on the promise of this land.
Nigeria, our independence is not just history.
It is a call to keep believing,
to keep building, to keep hoping.
I write to request the kind approval of the National Assembly.
Behind every decision, every vote,
the ayes have it,
and every heated debate lies the heartbeat of democracy.
This matter is very, very important.
I therefore rule you out of order.
Welcome to the place where it all unfolds. Every week, I take you inside the inner workings of the assembly, where laws are shaped, decisions are made, and the future of the nation is decided.
The ayes have it.
Join me, Tijesu Adeoye, and other seasoned experts, analysts, and lawmakers at the National Assembly as they uncover the real stories behind the headlines and offer unfiltered insight on the most pressing issues of the day. This is your front row seat to the heart of power. Watch the Hallowed Chambers every Saturday at 9 p.m. only on TVC News.
Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before. Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration. From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria. And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from traditional chic to corporate sleek. Whether it's a birthday bash or a high-profile gala, you won't just see it. You'll feel like you're right there with me. Aww. From meetings to evening soirees, I'll be there. Or to the trendiest street festivals or to music concerts, Events Diary has something for everyone. So join me as we explore the vibrant tapestry of Nigerian scene, one event at a time.
Breaking news is not just about the headlines. It is the ripple effects of the headlines. It is the ability to connect the dots of anger, grief, pain, repression, hope, and triumph. It is staying on the story till attention is gotten and action is taken. When we say at TVC News, we are first with breaking news. It is not just a position. It is a philosophy, a principle, and a culture.
TVC News, first with breaking news. At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC.
Nigeria's ivory towers are in the eye of the storm, designed to be the ultimate center of knowledge, but unfortunately, they have turned out to become a caricature, with cries of underfunding by both the federal and various state governments becoming the norm. Sadly, strikes have become the most potent response strategy, and sadly too, it is the language the authorities seem to enjoy. In all this back and forth, the students who are supposed to be the focus are left napping. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, the senior staff, and the non-academic staff unions are again on the edge of another round of strike, with the future of our students, the stability of our universities, and the soul of higher education left on the balance. I am Eshomomo Imodu. This is Fireworks. We put them under check. Joining me in this conversation to search for a possible pathway to lasting peace in the universities is the president of ASU, Professor Christopher Pinua Goson. Nice to have you.
Thank you very much.
Now, ASU, very important in university, just like you have the Senior Staff Union of universities, you have the Non-Academic Staff Union of universities. But these three unions, or should I say two unions, have consistently been on strike. Between 1999 and now, we've had about 15, 17 different strikes by your association, ASU. How do you feel about this?
Well, thank you very much, and thanks for having me on this program. How do I feel, or how do we as ASU members feel about the frequency of strikes on our campuses? We feel very bad. It's one of the lowest points of our career, of our work, when we have to stop work, because of disagreements with government. For many reasons. Most of us came into the university because we thought that was the central, the key, tool, driver of growth, of development in any country. And we wanted to contribute to it. Some of us came into the university because we're interested in research. So when you put all of these things together and what strike does to it, you will see that most academic staff are not happy when there is a strike. That is in terms of what we feel we should be doing. Then when you look at the challenges that students face, the trauma that they experience, parents, when there is a strike action, you know that there is no lecturer in any university that would put that as a primary target to embark on a strike action. So yes, there have been several strikes, but I can assure you that going on strike is one of the most horrifying experiences for us as lecturers.
Mr. President, you say it's a horrifying.
It is.
But from records, it's like ASU will always eat its cake and have it, in the sense that you will call for strike and they will say no work, no pay. ASU will go on strike, there is that standing rule, and after, ASU will force the government to sign that nobody will be victimized. The pay must be. So you've gone on strike, you ate your cake, you're still having it. Meanwhile, you come back and you rush students to have exams. So students have always suffered. But here you are saying that you don't even like the way students suffer. When you conduct exam, you rush the students. Meanwhile, they've not had adequate lecturing in the universities. So it's like, it does not add up to the ordinary man.
Nigeria is not a normal society.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so abnormal things happen. You believe that strikes are the worst things that happen, but they still happen.
So why do normal people use abnormal strategy to achieve results?
It depends on what you consider as abnormal strategy.
You said
once the strike is called off, there isn't an iota of there isn't an iota of our curriculum that we don't go back to cover. I don't understand eating our cake and still having it, because anytime we go on strike, we come back, we complete the work we're supposed to do. Once you complete the work you're supposed to do, you deserve your pay.
Now, do you respect laws?
Yes, we do.
The law says no work, no pay. Have you appealed that?
That is not the understanding of that law. The law says
You
go
back to the court to interpret. You don't interpret the law by yourself.
The law says no work, no pay.
Exactly.
Agreed.
Okay.
But it is not an absolute thing. It's not an absolute.
You go to the courts. You cannot interpret.
The same court have told us that the issue of no work, no pay is negotiable. The government can decide to pay, and this government has paid us 4 months already. We still have 3.5 months that they haven't paid, and we are pursuing them. We're insisting that we've done the work, and because we've done the work, we deserve to be paid. It's not. There's nothing about eating cake and having it. We've done our work. We deserve the pay. Every laborer, every worker deserves his wage.
And also, every Nigerian citizen, every student deserves the required time to be in the classroom, and not an adjusted timetable whereby he is rushed. But they don't enjoy that.
Interestingly, you know, NUC has what they call minimum standards, benchmarks. So there's a minimum number of weeks that you must, you know, keep to every semester, every session. For every semester, it's about 15 weeks minimum. Okay?
So you're justifying strike?
Yes, I am, because it is a tool. It's a legal tool. It's a legal tool to be used. So there's nothing wrong in using strike. The point is that the only tool you employ? No. Is that the only thing ASU does? No. We have been talking with government since 2017.
And they have been responding?
Since 2017. Yeah. This is the 8th year we've been talking with government. Nobody is talking about how government is dragging its feet, wasting our time, wasting Nigerians' time, creating problems everywhere. Nobody's talking about
it because I've always said that. I've always said that the government officials who had the warning strike and did not take action, and that was strike, should be sanctioned.
Nobody sanctions them in this country.
ASU should also join in calling for the sanction of those government officials. So would that help?
I'm trying to think about what you just said. ASU should join in asking for the sanction of officials of government that allow things to get to that point.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, that has always been our case. We believe that there are people in government that benefit from strike. Once there is a strike, there is some benefit, financial, whatever, political. There is a benefit to certain people once there is a strike.
I don't understand.
Of course there is.
How? There is strike. How would a government official benefit from it?
Government officials benefit from strike. They benefit when there is confusion in the system. There are people that enjoy it. Look at what we are going through now. The last time we met with government, they said we should give them 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And that they were going to meet with us.
Have they met?
Tomorrow is 3 weeks.
Okay.
Tomorrow Thursday.
So how many meetings have you had?
None.
Why?
None. Tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow is the last day. Nobody has even acknowledged that this time is closing. The windows are shutting. That we understand. Nobody
Who is supposed to call for that meeting in government? Who is the person?
It's the renegotiation to representatives of the World Bank and all sorts. That is where they take their tutorial. That is where they take their directive. Those are the groups that advise them. They don't listen to us in Nigeria.
But those groups they're also stakeholders. So you can't have a roadmap without bringing in stakeholders.
Who is the stakeholder in Nigerian education? World Bank? World Bank that has told them that tertiary education is a waste of time, that they should pay attention to basic education, primary and secondary school, and vocational education. Meanwhile, they are improving their tertiary institutions and universities abroad. Look, forget about those people. We are the stakeholders in this country. We are the ones that understand what our problems are. We have solutions to our problems. We have suggested to them, but they will not listen. Why? Because they get some money from World Bank, IMF, all these neoliberal institutes abroad, and some of them have worked for them. They have come to continue the work.
But Mr. President, we should also know that Nigeria does not exist in isolation. You exist in a community of nations. So you can't throw some of this international
America exists in a committee of nations. Yes. Do they call Africa, do they call Nigeria to come and tell them how to run their education? The United Kingdom exists as an institution. Do they call our Minister of Education or NUC to go and tell them how to run their education? So we are the only ones that exist in that global village, global world.
And you think these global bodies are part of our problem?
They are part of, it's not just the global bodies. We have those who are their paid agents in government, people who are propagating the ideals of these institutions in government.
And probably so paid agents in ASU?
No.
Don't your members also get grants from global bodies to do research?
They do.
So
they do. Hold on. They do because we have asked our government, we've told our government that this country has enough resources to fund research. And we have told our government that we have the capacity to give them results from our research that will inform policy decisions. We have told the government that we are ready, we are willing, we have the capacity to carry out research, but they are not responding.
So you turn to the global sponsors who will give you terms and conditions.
They do, and that is not right. That is not right.
So ASU is also part of it.
No, wait.
Members of ASU.
I don't like it.
Maybe members of ASU.
Why are you bringing ASU into this matter? Why?
Because we talk about the whole stakeholders.
No. You don't say because I'm Catholic and I'm doing something right or wrong. You say this member of this Catholic church is doing this, is doing that. You don't talk like that.
Should I rephrase it this way?
Let me hear how you want to rephrase it.
Would you want me to say?
Let me hear you.
That governments, global bodies are the problem of education in Nigeria.
They are part of
ASU is not a problem, it's a solution. You want me to say that?
Yes, I want you to say that because
you think Nigerians will believe you?
Let them listen. I'm not asking Nigerians to believe me without listening to me.
Just hold your thoughts. We'll come back to it. Let's quickly go on a quick break, and when we come back, the president of ASU will be here, and we're going to dig deeper into these issues. You're welcome back, and this is Fireworks. Now, we left off talking about the problems, the stakeholders, the global bodies, the government, and also maybe not ASU, maybe lecturers, maybe not the association, maybe individual, maybe the lecturers. And I asked that who is not part of the problem and who is not part of the solution to our education challenge in Nigeria?
You know, ASU is not beyond reproach. ASU is not a body that knows everything. ASU is not a body that has the solution to everything.
I like that.
We understand that. But when you want to pass judgment or analyze or criticize the role of ASU, we want you to take what exactly we have done, what we have refused to do, or what we are doing wrong, and cite those examples. ASU as a body does not encourage all these international organizations, neoliberal institutions to come in and interfere and give us handouts.
Okay.
Our members could. It's within their right to disagree with a position of ASU. It's like this election that we participate. Lecturers participate in elections across the country. ASU does not. In 2011, maybe I'm digressing a bit. In 2011, when Professor Jega was the chairman of INEC, I stand to be corrected, But I believe that the election conducted by JEGA remains the freest, the best elections, and has had the least litigations. ASU members participated in that election, you know. After that, we looked at our role in the elections and made suggestions to INEC and said, look, if you want us to continue to participate in these elections, based on our experience in 2011, you have to do this, do that. It will improve the credibility. They didn't accept our recommendation.
What is the position of ASU in participating in elections?
We still do not participate in elections as ASU. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. Our members can. So as ASU, we don't subscribe to World Bank and all these neoliberal institutions, Bretton Woods institutions, giving us advice, giving us handouts on how to run our educational sector. We don't subscribe to it. We have a position on it, and we've made our positions clear.
At what point does the body draw the line to sanction members that go against its own position? For instance, if they say in the National Assembly there is a position taken, and they take a position, an individual member is not pleased with it, you cannot now go and be working against that position. It is binding. Though you were not part of it, but it's binding on you. Is it difficult for us to translate it into this and say, look, this is a position of your body, the body you belong to. And the last time we checked, you have not resigned. So the position is binding. Is it possible?
The example you gave may not be quite appropriate.
Okay.
And let me tell you why. Okay. The National Assembly, as an institution, has the power to sanction its members.
You don't have power.
We don't have. We are a union in the university. If the university, look, what we do is that this lecturer was caught sleeping with a student. This lecturer is extorting students. This lecturer comes to lecture room drunk, you know, and all those things. We get a complaint in ASU. We set a committee. They look at it. They send it to our Ethics and Grievances Committee. We interact with that individual, find out what happened. If he is guilty, we present a report. We do two things. We present a report back to our Congress. If it is at the national level, we present a report to NEC. Once we do that,
you allow appropriate body.
We sanction them the best way we can. Okay. We can suspend you from the union. We can suspend a branch from attending NEC a number of times. We can expel you from the union. We do all of that and then send that, our report, to the university administration, which has the power to sanction either dismissal from the university. So the National Assembly can do what they want to do. We don't have that power. Okay. But within our own capacity, we're able to do
let's quickly move to this other issue. Now, you said in time past, you were talking with government, and for about 3 weeks, there has been a stalemate. What is the role the National Assembly is playing in all this? They appropriate. Because no matter what you say about funding of education, if the National Assembly do not appropriate, government cannot spend.
Recently, in the last 3 days, I've had some conversations, or contact rather, a call from the office of the Deputy Senate President, who said he was trying to find out what's going on. Some from his office, not him directly, but from his office. I think they are thinking about what's going on. But we have not had any direct communication with them. And like I said at one of your programs here, it's not because we haven't written. We've written to the National Assembly. We've written to the Speaker of the House of Representatives. We've written to the Senate President.
So they're in the know already?
We have written. It's not, the letter we sent to them was not this month or this year, really. I think it was last year, but we've written to them. We wrote to them because the problems haven't really changed, but we have not received any response. But you know the way this country is. People don't respond to those letters, but they respond to strike.
People don't respond to these letters.
They don't.
But they respond to strike.
They do. And then when the strike enters the 3rd or 4th week, they now begin to come round wanting to have a conversation with you. So that's their standard response.
Where does this place us in reforming education in Nigeria?
very badly. Very badly. We're on a very...
How should we move?
You see...
If tomorrow you are appointed as the Minister of Education, what will be your immediate, workable and practical steps?
I've not thought of that. But I know that as elected president of ASUM, I know that one of the challenges that we have with government is they have no desire to revert to past records, to follow up on what has been done. So anytime you appoint a minister, he goes in there, he has his own ideas, and he thinks this is the best way to address these problems. But there have been efforts before you. And if you can just build on them, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. In the Ministry of Education, there are reports upon reports upon reports. Sometimes you even set up a committee for a report that is already sitting.
Another committee to look at the committee report.
So they don't look back and see what are the efforts that have been done. That's one. We also know that this government, as previous governments before it, they don't prioritize education. They talk about it by way of speaking, but in their actions, there are so many problems of education in this country. But everything they are talking about is NELFON. Like NELFON is like the magic one. Once they had NELFON, the problems are solved.
Just quickly before we go. Today is October 1. How do you feel Nigeria celebrating its independence and we're still talking about strike or no strike on October 1?
I wish that there will be no strike. And I can't say there will be no strike. October 1 should be a day of reflection, day of taking records, the progress we've made, the challenges we face, how to overcome those challenges. That's what we should spend October 1.
If the pandemic in 30 seconds, 2026 budget will soon be in the works. What two things do you want to be in it concerning education and solving this challenge?
Number one, the funding of education, the percentage allocation to education from last year to this year should increase.
Thank you so much, Professor Christopher, for coming on my talk today. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, sir.
And that is all the time will permit us to take on this particular edition of Fireworks. Make it another opportunity next week on same platform. But before then, go back to the YouTube channel and check previous recordings of Fireworks. I remain yours sincerely, Shomo. Bye for now.
From Lagos to the world, TVC Communications has been nominated for its very first international award, the prestigious AIB. It's a recognition of our voice, vision, innovation, and relentless drive to push beyond boundaries. TVC Communications, Nigerian excellence on the world stage.
Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia, January 15, 1929. The son of a Baptist minister, King received a doctorate degree in theology and in 1955 helped organize the first major protest of the African American civil rights movement, the successful Montgomery bus boycott. King participated in and led marches for the right to vote, desegregation, labor rights, and other civil rights. He advocated civil disobedience and nonviolent opposition against segregation in the South, influenced by Mahatma Gandhi.